driving home, y'all, from work, and I want to tell y'all a story. We about to have a story time about why attention feel good, but it will never satisfy. It will never fill your voice, and sometimes it can be dangerous too, the wrong attention. A couple of months ago, back in June of this year, 2025, started working at Amazon warehouse, and it wasn't my first time working at a warehouse. I've been in and out of Amazon warehouse. Me and Amazon, we got a bittersweet relationship. It's like my man who always there for me when I need him, right? At the beginning of this year, I lost my good paying job, and I had got another job working from home, but it wasn't paying me as much as the job I lost at the beginning of the year. I decided to pick up another job, which was Amazon warehouse. And I got that job in June, and I was just, working, just doing my job, not really worrying about anything else. I would just go to work, do my job, and go home. I was working from 12:15 a.m. to 3:15 a.m. Around October, I started feeling myself, I would say, because I was in there walking, and I was losing weight. Like, I'm already muscular, so if I be consistent with my workout, then my body is really toned. I noticed that my glutes were starting to sit up, stomach was starting to get flat, legs were starting to be thick and shapely. So I just started wearing a fitted shirt, and then I wear some Nike sweatpants. And the Nike sweatpants, they kind of gave me a little hips, because I don't have no hips. So I would just kind of dress for my shape. Before that, I would just go in there with a little regular faded bleach t-shirt and some tights. I got into my little area where I was feeling myself, so I'm like, okay, I want to start socializing more. I like to say that I'm kind of an introvert / extrovert. When I'm an introvert, I'm an introvert. Like, I don't want to be bothered, but when I want to be social, I know how to be social. I'm not shy at all, but I'm not gonna say I'm not shy at all. I'm shy around men. So I told myself, like, okay, I want to start flirting, I want to start talking to men, I want to be more social. So I did that. And women, a lot of us are shy around men, but we just don't understand the power that we have with men. I learned my lesson. So hear me out. That was this one particular guy. So he had started probably about a month and a half prior. I would see him every blue moon, and I would think, okay, he's kind of cute, he's handsome or whatever. But then a thought passed by at one time that I didn't really pay no mind. I was like, oh, he look like he been in prison, because he have tattoos all on his neck, and he wore a do-rag to work every day. I randomly said something to him one day. I was like, you remind me of somebody. And he really did remind me of somebody. He reminded me of this guy I used to date, but I didn't say all of that. I just told him, I'm like, you remind me of somebody. So he stopped, and he was like, yeah, we may have went to school together, we may have seen each other in a mall in passing. Tried to create all type of scenarios in my head of where I may know him from. When I came to work after that, he would flirt with me. Like, he gave me a nickname, calling me, I'm not gonna tell y'all the nickname, but because I'm already saying too much as is in a public space. I should have put this in the Pain to Purpose Mom's Lounge. So I'm not gonna really go into detail. I already gave too much, because I don't want anyone who I used to work with to run across this video and know who I'm talking about. As he started flirting, he gave me nicknames, and I was enjoying it. I was enjoying that attention, because these days, ladies, men, they really are not approaching women, at least me. I probably get approached once or twice a month. A man may say something or try to flirt on the low, but that's about it. Not like back in the day well, every time you step outside. But I don't think men are really doing it because they're afraid that they're going to get recorded. They're afraid they're going to get rejected, embarrassed on social media. But when he started, flirting with me and showing me all this attention, I really felt some type of way. Like, I was enjoying it. I liked it. One night afterward, I was getting out, but he was still on break. And he said something. He was like, "You finna go?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he was at his truck smoking, which should have been a red flag because I don't even do smokers. So I pulled up and I stopped and we was talking, and he was like, "Well, you should think about giving me your number." And I was like, "I'll sleep on it." I think I gave him my number for like another 2 or 3 weeks. I was just enjoying the attention. I was enjoying her flirting. He called me when he got off work. I just gotten off at 3:15 and I had to be back up at 5:30 so that I could go to my day job. But yet he called me and I'm answering the phone, and we talked for like almost an hour. He was like, you like a N-word and you don't know my story. He was like, "But one day I'm gonna tell you my story." He was like, "Matter of fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you right now." So he told me that he had been in prison for 10 years. The reason he told me he was in prison wasn't the real reason, but I didn't know that during the phone call. And a red flag was when he got home, he was like, "Okay, well, go ahead and get you some sleep. I'm at home. If I text you tomorrow, if you can answer. Inspector Tasha and me came out. Now that I got his number, I took his number and I put it in Cash App, and nothing popped up. So then I took his number and I put it in Zelle, and now I got his full name. He told me his middle name, so he go by his middle name. Everybody at work called him by his middle name. And so I Googled this man's first and last name, and y'all, when I tell y'all this man went to prison for 10 years for a very horrific and gruesome crime. He harmed 2 people, two humans, like in a very gruesome way. When I read about it, I'm like, oh, wow. Amazon hire anybody. But no, that wasn't my first thought. I'm like, oh wow, I am so glad I Googled this man's name, because what if I would have took it farther? Like, the attention was good, but what if I would have took it outside of work? And then I started to think, okay, he started showing me all this attention simply because I said, "You look familiar." So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, he's trying to flirt with me and show me attention and keep me close because he wants to know if I know anything or what I know, or he's trying to plant narratives and seeds in my head that is going to sway me away from how I may actually know him. That's all I'm gonna say on that, on the YouTube channel. If y'all want the full story of everything that I learned, then go ahead and join the Pain of Purpose Moms Lounge. This month of December, we are covering the topic of holiness all month long. Join the Pain of Purpose Moms Lounge. You have access to past content as well as current content. I don't know, I can't remember what January topic is going to be, but it's going to be good. Before I left Amazon, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't even tell him. And y'all know the crazy thing about it, I kept my distance from him. But part of me was still, like, at first, when I first learned about it, I was sad for the person who he had did that to, what he did. I was sad for her because what he did to her, I know that she is very traumatized to this day. And I know, I don't know how she's taking it. It was 10 years ago. What I learned about attention is it doesn't equal connection, and half of the time it's not real. Like, people will give you attention, especially men. They give you attention for their own selfish desires. When I was working in that Amazon warehouse, I noticed that there were guys in there who would give me attention so that they could get a reaction out of someone else. There were guys in there who would try to give me attention, like the guy I'm talking about, so that he could get close to me to see what I know. Or maybe he was trying to give me attention so that he could try to get close to me so I wouldn't tell anybody if I did know. I just know that it wasn't genuine. And I just know that attention cannot be your source of value, because it will sway you down the wrong path. My story could have ended differently. It wasn't real, but in my mind it was real. Like, there was no type of connection outside of work or nothing. I remember having this thought, like, Lord, I want to pray about this man, but I know as soon as I pray, you gonna show me something or tell me something. And I left it at that. And then that's when I got the idea to Google this man's name. I put his name in Zell, y'all. So God still heard my heart, even though I didn't want to pray. And I'm glad he did, because as a father, he already know this man's heart. He already know what he did. So he wanted me to see this so that I would not go further or try to push something further outside of work and have this man in my life, in my son's life. Because even though, you know, he was locked up for 10 years, it doesn't mean he's changed. At the age they go in, it's the age they come out, emotionally, relationally. They can grow in prison, they can grow spiritually, but they don't have relationships, nor do they have to put their emotions to the test, so that they can't grow relationally, they can't grow emotionally. All they know when they go to prison is how to manipulate people, because when they're in prison, they need women to put money on their books. They need women to write them, to show them affection, to show them attention, to have conjugal visits. They're manipulating woman after woman, and on top of that, they have to prove that they're the man in prison, so they have to manipulate the people in prison. Some men can go in there, some men can read their Bible and get to know God, and God can grow them up, but they still have to build those emotional and relational muscles. And they can't do that in prison. You do that in real life. So imagine somebody being locked up for 10, 20, 30 years. And they come out here to where they're in the real life, and they have to survive, and they have to get in relationships, and they have to use their emotions. They don't know how to control them. Sorry, but I won't trust nobody who's been locked up for that long. I can't. I won't trust them. I will always think that they're being manipulative, because that's what they know. That was their environment for so long. This holiday season, I know that we get lonely, and when a man show us attention after we haven't had it for so long, it feels so good. You think you the woman, especially if he fine. You think you the woman, you think you on to something. But I want you to stop, and I want you to ground yourself, sis. And I want you to see it for what it is. See that man for what it is. Like, what do he want from me? Why is he showing me this attention? And give it time, sis. Don't get head over heels. You get head over heels because this man is showing you attention, but he's not being consistent. He's not making effort to court you in the right way. He's not respecting you. He's not consistent with his time. You've caught him in lies. You've seen red flags. You are head over heels because of the attention. Then you're going to ignore the red flags. You're going to ignore it. You're going to move past it, and you're going to end up in something, a situationship, a relationship, or something that's going to hurt you, and it's going to traumatize you, and it's going to, in return, traumatize and hurt your kids, because a hurt woman is automatically going to hurt her kids, emotionally, physically, mentally. Understand that when we talking about attention, we not just talking about you, because you allow that attention to draw you in. Then sis, it's gonna take God to heal you, and it's kind of like you going backwards, especially if you've been doing the work. Give it time. Continue to pursue God. Get close to your word, because I'm telling y'all, like, when you get close to God, 99%. Okay, I ain't gonna say 99%. I'm gonna say 95%. 95% of the men you come across, you gonna automatically know that they not for you. Just by God to give you that eye. God to give you discernment. He'll give you project. He'll show you things before you even take a step. He will show you if you allow him to show you. But you have to have eyes to see and ears to hear, and not be so simple and believe everything you hear and everything somebody tell you and everything you see. What I can say is that I used Amazon as a training ground. Like, in the beginning, I was just going there to get my paycheck, and then I was going there to flirt and socialize and to get comfortable with talking to men. And then I just started using it as a training ground. God started giving me discernment. He started teaching me things. He started showing me things about people and attention and power dynamics and jealousy. He just started showing me that. He also started delivering me from some of those things too while I was working at Amazon. You're in a season right now where you're at a job you don't want to be at, you know you're not supposed to be at. Until God delivers you from that job, get the knowledge that you need to get. Like, ask God to show you what you need to see. Go into that job as a training ground, as a learning ground. You're going there to get paid, and you're also going there to learn. You're learning life. You're learning people. Pick a subject that you want to learn and study people. Study situations. Study yourself in those situations. All right, that's the end of my car chat, y'all.